What's up, YouTube fam? It's Dark Angel's Journey. I'm Shakira. So, want to do a review of my trades today, and I'm probably going to try and do that every day. Whether or not I choose to record it every day is a different thing, but I'll be doing it every day. So, for this one, I'm going to share. I also want to share the psychology issues, right? I've been putting too much pressure on myself to get to the end result, and it's been causing me a lot of fear and inability to get into the trades, doing setups that, work really well, but not actually putting them on, that type of thing. So I'm trying to work on that. So more meditation, um, I, and just, positive thinking, changing my mindset. Um, I need to get into the appropriate trading mindset, which is I need to start thinking probabilities and being okay with the loss if I'm wrong. The other thing is my stop loss. I'm still not putting it exactly where I need to put it, even though I know I should. So let's take a look at today's trades. And the other thing that I'm trying to do is to build consistency, right? So I can't think about taking the big runs when I haven't mastered taking the low hanging fruit, right? So five handles. So I'm trying to roll back into that. So I'll show you a trade I took this afternoon where I knew it was going higher, but I took, like 21 ticks, and I'm just trying to master myself, right? And I'm going to try and do that for the next couple of weeks and just be content and just work from that and then continue on. Anyway, so that sounds like a good time. Let's get tiny. Yeah, I'm sitting outside, so it's beautiful. All right, so I guess we can work our way backwards, right? So first and foremost, 16,655 is where my account's at. I took two trades today, one in the morning where I had set myself up with a nice long, but I changed where I wanted my entry, which is weird because I was just listening to Trading in the Zone by was it Mark Douglas? And it was just talking about traders doing that. Like doing their analysis, knowing where they should enter, and then just doing the exact opposite. So that's what's happening here. Um, and then this is where I took the 20 takes and just said, okay, I'm good. So let's start with the afternoon trade. And let's jump in on the 15-minute because I'm using the 15-minute to frame all trades. And this one I'm gonna share in a moment, but where I took the entries on this 15-minute order block, but in my mind I was expecting them to come back down and tap this general vicinity. And I think there was something on the 5-minute that made me want to take it from here. But I ended up taking that trade a few ticks higher up at 44.52. Right, so a few ticks higher up with my stop below the breaker. And this is the 15-minute breaker. So just so you know, we had a low, lower low, shifted through. All of these green candles right here are the breaker, and I was expecting it to come back down. One of two things. We have this order block right here, but I was really expecting them to come back to here. So I got my entry a little bit higher, but I moved this from up here. I moved it to like a 5-minute or something order block. Let's dip over to that one and see. But anyway, my entry is 44.52. Right. So I moved it to here because I wanted the entry there, which it came down to, but I moved my order, which is keep doing that, right? So my history. It's like I keep changing my orders, right? So at 229, I had a limit order. Well, I didn't cancel it. I just moved it up and adjusted it. And then my 10 o'clock. And then in the morning, I was looking at a potential quick 20 tick, and then I decided not to trade before 10. In any case, this is where I had my original entry with the expectation at bare minimum that they would take out the New York lunch, which they did with alacrity. The second one here, though, this one I thought, after I took my 5 ticks right around here, 47, 44, 55, 21 ticks, okay? I was thinking to myself, low, lower low, trade it through, breaker right here. And on top of that, so I was thinking this is a very strong opportunity right here. Top of the new week opening gap, top of the breaker, basically, and at minimum, ride it up to here for 25 ticks. They obviously rode it all the way up to the buy side I'd set up for myself from a previous New York PM high that I had specified earlier in the day. And they took that out with some gusto. Like they just ran with it. Beautiful. But that was my general idea for a quick 25 ticks right there. But I didn't re-enter after I took my ticks. I'm just basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to start to show this type of P&L consistently moving forward, right? Instead of all of these red. So that's the plan. And then when I can see some consistency here, then I can start to look at 40 and then start to like move my way up. But I was trying to walk before I was running, so that wasn't good. All right. So for the AM session, now here's what I was looking for on the AM. I was looking for, and 9:30 opened with this gap right here, which needs to be darkened. All right, we can take this off for now. And we can take that off. Trying to keep this as clean as I can manage. And we can take out the sell side. Well, let's see. Yeah. So and let's switch back to the 15 minutes. So here's what I was expecting, right? Since there's no news or anything, I was expecting them to come back into this 15-minute order block right here. Why? Because we had a low, lower low, and there was a bit of a shallow trade through. So then all of this right here is a bullish breaker on the 15-minute. And that coincides with this 15-minute order block, which is what I was thinking. So in the morning, this is what my original, should have looked like. And actually a little bit lower than that because I don't want to give away that many. So something like that, right? With the expectation that they were going to come up to here like that. It was 66 ticks, nothing crazy. But as they came down here, I took, and let's drop into the 5-minute again. So when they came down here in this first drop, and let's drop into a 1-minute, at that time, I assumed this shift was enough. And I took an entry from here. Something like that. 44, 48, 75. Let's look at my loss. Yeah, 44, 48, 75 exactly. And then I took a loss at 44.7. So the lesson that I'm learning in these scenarios is, one, we look at this on a 5-minute, right? We had a very energetic, over here. We had a very energetic drop, shift, higher high, shifted through from constant encroachment of the daily wick. Since I was looking for a long for them to come back down into this position, there's nothing wrong with me writing it down to the order block, right? So then my short would have been, should have been something like this with like, technically it should be all the way over there. I don't like it, and then just write it back down to the order block. we'll take 20 ticks out of that puppy. Still inside of this thing, so not a bad play for a quick 250. But I let this drop right here shake me out, and I should have considered the fact that we are still inside of the new week opening gap for the day, and they'll most likely want to continue. Let's go back down to the 1 minute so we can keep looking at it like that. They'll most likely want to continue and take the rest of it. So I should have considered a shift afterwards, or at least some confirmation down here, which this is what that looked like. And I'm not seasoned enough to just re-enter comfortably, right? Like this shift right here, coming back here would have been a nice entry, I think. Anyway, so that was the morning. So let's look at this on the 4 minute. So what did we have? Low, lower low, shift. There's a bullish breaker here. I didn't even notice. See, that's the problem, right? Like, I like these confluences. We have bullish breaker right here. We're at the top of the fair value gap. That's a good potential entry into the lunch hour, right? On the 4 minute. Can we see it on the 5 minute? Yes. Low, lower low, shifted through. This candle right here is the bullish breaker. We're at the top. I mean, honestly, top of the breaker right there. Let's see. I don't want it to dig into the body, right? Like actually, in terms of this thing here, I'd be thinking something below the 0.75, or at least the 0.5, 0.75 area. And then looking for something above this high right here. And they did a 50 tick run, right? Now, if we were to do a little aiming, right? So we're waiting for this high to be broken. Do that. So one standard deviation, which is what I would aim for, like 47 ticks right there. Once it broke out of this, can only do the aiming once it breaks out. If it doesn't break out, then, it's a moot point. Could have done the similar scenario over here. Once it broke that, where is it? The bottom, and see where it might have gone. So one standard deviation again is here. Two standard deviations all the way up here. Beautiful. I already expected this buy side. 2.5 would have been where I would have taken it at. That would have been juicy. Let's see. It would be an all day thing though. 100 ticks. Beautiful. Anyway, I'm not there yet. I'm gonna try and build some consistency and stop trying to fight things. But there is a and we can see a three drives pattern here. 1, 2, 3, break, first shift down, write it back down into a proper place. Like context makes complete sense. But this area right here was looking very suspiciously like an area over, further over. And I was like, is that what price does? Because similar scenario, 1, 2, 3 drives, shift, and came back up into this fair value gap, the first one. High, higher, high, shifted through, breaker, and then dropped down into an area of interest, like midnight opening price. There's a volume imbalance right here that would be a good target. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. So let's see if I'd just done something like that. Come down to the top of that guy. 53 ticks. Beautiful. So I'm just noticing like a pattern too. And I was looking at this, especially when it's bullish, right? And it's done a break like this, it drops, shakes out folks, and then, once it comes up, shifts, gives us an opportunity and continues moving upward, right? So I was expecting, and look at this area, same behavior. 3 drives, shift, came back up for an entry, dropped into an area of, a PD array that makes sense for it, rolled back up, shifted back down, and then rolled in. Came back down at 2:30 to give us another opportunity for an entry, and then ran away beautifully. Beautiful. I like I like that I'm starting to see a pattern. I want to make sure that I remember said patterns, but there's no guarantee of that, right? I couldn't trade yesterday. I was stuck in an airport, but I'm hoping to I'm hoping to no, hoping is the wrong word. I know I'm going to be more consistent now that I'm just looking for the low hanging fruit, you know, focus on where I think price will go and just trust that. Um, it's going to take time and practice, but that's okay. That's what I'm here for. So I'm going to take the slow and steady approach and get to where I need to go. All right, guys, let's keep this one light and simple. I hope you guys have had a good couple of weeks of trading. Hope today was good for you too. Um, let's go. It's getting better every day. Shakira out.